Assalamu alaikum. So, dear first year students, you are welcome to this session. So, you are welcome to the field of poetry. You are the students of English literature, you know. So, let's start now from this part. So, you know that National University arranges the class for you in this online system. So, this is a part of your introduction to poetry course. Here you can find that subject English program honors first year. Your course code is 211105. Name of the course Introduction to Poetry. This is the lecture number 1. So today I would like to discuss with you a poem named Because I Could Not Stop for Death. So this is the identity in brief about myself. You know that my name is Mohammad Anwar Hussain. So I'm the lecturer in English, Mohammad Nisa Government Women's College. So this is the email address. After this lecture, if you have any query, you can make mail to me. So let's start now. So I am with you in your introduction to poem in this course. So today, in the first lecture, I'd like to deliver a lecture on the poem Because I Could Not Stop for Death, written by Emily Dickinson. You know that she's an American poet, very important. And I would like to deliver a lecture on some selected poems. Those are very much important for your exam, for your coming exam. So for that purpose, at first I select this poem because I could not stop for death. So after this lesson, after this class, after this lecture, you will be able to understand the poem easily. So I hope that after this lecture, after this, if you listen to this lecture carefully, after this lesson, after this lecture, you can understand the poem easily. And also, you will be able to make the answer of the following questions. Those are very much important for your exam. Now, what types of questions? At first, that comment on Emily Dickinson's treatment of death. This may be from broad questions about 10 marks, and you can also give the answer of the question that what is mysticism, what type of mystic elements do you find in the poem, and another important question is that what is symbolism, what are the symbols used in the poems, and so on. And after hearing this lecture, you will also can give the answers for this image and what types of imagery the poet uses in this poem. So in this way, if you understand the poem, uh, you will be beneficial to make the answers in your exam script and also to understand the poems. So this is the title of the poem is that because I could not stop for death. You know that because I could not stop for death. The title itself signifies, the title itself declares that it is a poem based on death, philosophical poem. You know that Emily Dickinson is a mysterious poet. Emily Dickinson is a mysterious poet. He uses in her poems mystic elements. So before starting, I would like to discuss with you about this. So here you can find three pictures. So in the first picture, you can see that it's a skeleton. It symbolizes the dead. It is a dead. Maybe it's a person. So suddenly, death comes to any person of this world. The person, that means we or all the people of this world, are not ready actually. Suddenly, death comes to them. But he or she must submit herself or himself in the hand of death or to the hand of death. So whenever death comes, so death receives, picks up the human beings, picks up the man, and then starts a journey. Death with the soul of the dead body or with the dead body, the death starts its journey. Journey to what? Journey to eternity. So here it's a picture. You can find that it's a journey. It's a vehicle. It is called carriage. The English meaning of this image is it's called carriage. It's a vehicle. And then picking up the human beings, this vehicle stops its journey to the ground, a swelling of the ground. That means it's a graveyard. It's a graveyard, a swelling place. It's a house, the final house of human beings. So after this time, an eternal world starts. An eternal world starts. And in this way, we find that death, the three pictures gives a message to us that gives a message to us that death comes to the human beings, and he picks up the human beings, and with death the human being starts his journey or her journey, and finally they stop their journey in a house, in a grave, and through this world, he enters into the world of eternity. So this philosophy about death or the truth of human life is given in this poem. So let's start now. So to understand the poem, that to understand this poem, you should learn some related topics. So at first, I would like to discuss some related topics, some important elements. Those are very much important to understand to catch the meaning of this poem. So at first, I would like to discuss with you that mystic or mysticism. So what is mystic? What is mysticism? If there is a question that evaluate Emily Dickinson as a mysterious poet, or if there is a question that what types of mystic elements are used in these poems, so then what is the answer? So what is mystic or what is mysticism? So now you can start. You know that there are so many things in this world. They have existence, but they are not visible. We cannot visualize, we cannot see or observe them, but they have existence. So there is, for an example, for your better understanding, I will say something here, that there is a memory. Imagine that in your phone there is a memory. In your phone there is internal or external memory. So in this memory there are so many videos, there are so many numbers, there is a SIM in your mobile, and in your SIM there are so many numbers, isn't it? And in your memory there are so many videos, so many images, so many pictures, everything, so many. Whenever you see these types of videos, these types of picture in your screen of your mobile phone, it is visible. But if you think that you put out the memory from your mobile number, from your phone, from your mobile, you put out the memory, and you break the real memory, and you break your real memory, that I would like to see where is the videos, where is the pictures you would like to see in the memory. So if you can, if can you see the pictures in your memory really? Never, never. But before this time, in our screen, in our mobile phone, we can visualize these videos. So this is mysticism, that have existence. These videos have existence. These videos exist, but whenever you want to see in really, it is not. Yeah, it is not visible. So this is mysticism actually. These types of elements are called mystic. So here you can find that the things which have existence but they are not visible are called mystic. There are so many things in this world, those are closely related with our life, but we can't see or look or visualize its physical shape or external shape. We can only feel or observe them. They have strong influence on our imagination or imaginary world. There are so many things in this world. Really, they are real, but we can catch them. We cannot touch them, such as God, death, soul, love, etc. So God, God is something. that is exist, that has existence. But if you want to see God, is it possible for you? It is not possible for you. It is quite impossible. So in this way, death is a thing which has existence. Death is exist, but we can catch death. We can we can face death physical way, in physical shape. The mystic means that has no physical shape, but it exists in the reality. Mystic means, what is mystic? Understand what is mystic? Mystic means the things that have existence, but they have no physical shape. These things are called mystic elements. So in this way, God is a mystic element, death is a mystic element, soul. We know that we have a soul, but we can catch our soul in our hand. So soul has existence, but this soul has no physical shape. So in this way, love also is a thing which has existence, but it never exists physically. So in this way, the things which have which have existence, but they are not exist physically, we can catch them, touch them. Those elements are called mystic elements. They are called mystic. So, in literature, in any literature, English, Bengali, or any other literature, so in literature, mysticism is a process. Mysticism is a process in which the writer shows a connection with the unseen, with the unseen, with the things those are not touchable. So where the poet deals with the mystic elements in his poem, then this process is called mysticism. So you can understand here that mysticism is a process. Mysticism is a process through which the writer or the poet uses mysterious elements in their poems, and they shows a connection with the mystic elements. So in the same way, in this poem, here the poet shows a connection with death of human beings. So death is a mystic element, is a mysterious element, you know. So I hope that you will understand, you can understand what is mystic and what is mysticism. So and then another important topics I'd like to discuss with you, that symbol or symbolism. So what is symbol? What is symbol or symbolism? So symbol means sign. In literature, symbol is anything that suggests or stands for something else. Understand? Listen to me and understand. And you can also note down. So in literature, symbol is anything that suggests or stands for something else. For example, symbolism means the artful use of symbols. What is symbolism? Symbolism means the artful use of symbols. So symbolism, when we can say that there is symbolism in this poem, there are symbols in this poem, in which situation we can say like this. So symbolism is at work when the word rose, if the writer used the word rose in his poem. So this rose never clears the flower only. It suggests another meanings. So then it is called symbol or symbolism. So the word rose is used not only to signify the flower itself. Whenever the poet uses rose in his poems, and then this rose never indicates flower. This rose indicates, but also to suggest beauty, love, and purity. You know that symbolically we can use rose for the love, and also for the beauty, and also for the purity. So at that situation, whenever these types of words or images used to suggest another meanings, to suggest something else, then it is called symbol, and this process is called symbolism. This process is called symbolism. So you know that in literature, in poems, the poets uses normally so many symbols, and they helps the instrument of symbolism to make their poems interesting and enjoyable. So another important issue that is very much important with this poem, image or imagery, image or imagery. So you know that what is image? Image means any image, picture, any image. Image means picture, picture of a particular things. Here you can find that. Here in the screen you can find that image means picture of a particular things. So in literature, image is a picture of words. Image is a picture of words. So if anyone asks you, so what is the duty of a poet? What is the function of a poet? What is the function of painter? You know that of an artist. You know that an artist use some instruments to make a complete picture. They uses ink or any other instruments. And in the same way, the poet also use the words. He used the words. By using words, the poet creates a picture. And whenever we read a poem, that I wandered lonely as a cloud over the valleys and hills, whenever we read these lines, I wandered lonely as a cloud over the valleys and hills, and at the same time, a picture of hill, a picture of valley flash upon in our inside eye. So whenever the poet use the words to create picture, this system is called imagery or image. That means it is the duty of a poet. Normally, a poet creates a picture. Every poet creates a picture by words. So whenever the poet creates a picture, literally it is called image. So imagery is a collective form of images. So many uses using so many images, the poet gives a complete shape, a complete picture. Then it is called imagery. Imagery means it is a total or complete picture produced by images. So whenever we read the poem, we will find so many images. So what is image? Very clearly, you can understand that image means a picture of words. What is image? Uh, Again, I will say image means a picture of words. So imagery means a picture, a complete picture produced by so many images. So this is very much important. So another important figure of speech is that personification. Person, personification derived from person. So person means who have quality, personic quality. So personification means it is a figure of speech in which a lifeless things are given life. A lifeless things are given life. A non-living things act like living things, then it is called personification. You know that talking is a quality of a person. Moving is also a quality of a person. So you know that the features, the books or anything, the pen can never talk. Talking is is an important quality of human beings. Moving is an important. Dancing is an important quality of human beings. But whenever anyone say that death talks, death is a thing. It is quite impossible for the death to talk. Death is a thing, it cannot move. But whenever anyone says that death moves, then we can say that here the poet use the figure of speech is personification. That means a non-living things are given and the quality of living things. Whenever the quality of living things are given to the non-living things, then it is called personification. Such as a chair table talks. If you can say that a chair talks. So how it is possible a chair talks? But in literature, sometimes when the poet says that a table talks, a table moves, the table alone, lonely, can never moves. But whenever the poets use the table moves, at that time we can say that here the poet uses the literary figure is personifications. So personification, what is personification? Personification means give life to non-living things. So in this poem, we can find that death is personified as a gentleman. In this poem, death is personified as a gentleman. So now, let's start the poem. At first, very briefly, I will discuss the poem very briefly. So at first, this is a poem. So you can find that because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. So this is the first stanza. In the first stanza, I will discuss the poem very briefly, very shortly. So because I could not stop for death, very beginning, the beginning line, the beginning line signifies the title of the poem. The title of the poem. What is the title of the poem? You know, title of the poem was that because I could not stop for death. Because I could not stop for death. So the beginning line of the poem is that because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. So who is he? He means death. Death kindly stopped for me. So he, you know that he, pronoun he is used for person, for person. And for, here he is used for the death. So in this way we can understand that here death is personified. Here death is personified. So the poet at the very beginning line, at the very beginning stanza, in the very first stanza, the poet says that as the human beings or the poet, and the because I means the speaker, poet, could not stop for death, as I have no time. You know that all the people of this world are very much busy. We are very much busy. We have no time. We never thinks about death. We only works, and thinks about future, what we'll do next, what we'll do next, and I will do something in this way, in this way, in this way. So in this way, we never thinks about death. We are very much busy about our worldly gettings in this modern materialistic world. So in as we are very much busy, as we have no time for death, as we never stop for death, so death kindly stop for me. So it is very common. So death is very common in our life. Death is inevitable truth in our life. Death is must in our life. Death comes suddenly. So in the first two lines indicates the theme of the poem, that the poet accept, the theme of the poem is the acceptance of death. Acceptance of death. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. Death comes with the carriage. Carriage means a vehicle, an instrument that carries the dead body actually. So the carriage held but just ourselves. So in that carriage, just ourselves. Ourselves means I, the speaker himself, and with him the dead. As death comes like a person, and immortality. So the speaker or these I means all the people of this world, the speaker or all the people of this world must surrender with death, and with death, the human beings with death starts his journey through a carriage, and they entered into the world of immortality and immortality. So with immortality, the speaker with death starts their journey. In the first stanza, we find that in this way. So in the second stanza, we slowly drop. We means the speaker I, the death, and also immortality. We slowly drop. We slowly drop. He knew no hast. Eh, In this picture, you can say that, and the death suddenly comes, and they slowly drops. They have no hastiness. They have no hastiness. Slowly they starts, and finally they entered into the world, into the house. So we slowly drove. He knew no haste, death knew no haste, and I had put away my lever and my laser toe, my laser and my laser toe for his civility. And again, the word his used in the against the word death, civility. This is the word that indicates that death is very much civilized. Is very much civilized. This is the quality of human beings. So the poet says that, and I had put away my lever, my laser toe, and all the people of this world submit himself or herself, and he has to surrender all his works, all his activities in his life, and all his times, everything, everything, everything of his life, everything of human life has to surrender, has to submit in the hand of death. So in the first line, in the first stanza, the poet says that as he has no time, so death stopped in his house. Death, death comes to him or to her, and with the immortality, they starts their journey, and slowly they start their journey with all her activities, and the poet starts his journey. And then in the third stanza, he says that the poet says that we passed the school where children strove at recess in the rain. This is the very important line, important stanza. So in this stanza, we find that the poet uses image of school children. This is an image, this is a picture that whenever we read this line, there is a picture flashes in our eyes, in our insight, that we passed the school where the children strove at recess in the ring. We passed school. This line symbolically indicates that school. School means the early period of life, early life, early life of human beings at recess. Whenever they and then we passed the fields of gazing grain. Gazing grain means we passed fields of grain, fields of grain. That means fields of gazing grain means fields of grain. That means this phrase indicates the middle period of human beings, human life, fields of our life. So human beings spends his days at early life school, and then in his works, in his activities, and then we pass to the setting sun. Setting sun. The word setting sun symbolically indicates that the dying person at the last moment of human life. So in this way, these images have a symbolic meaning actually. Of course, symbolic meaning. So, or rather, that means their journey is running on. It's a journey. Their journey is running on, or rather, he passed us, or death passed us. That means the writer and immortality. The dew quivering and chill, for only Gossamar, my gown, my tipped only tall. This line symbolically indicates the cloth of the dead body, the dress of the dead body, Gossamar, gown, my tipped. These words gives a picture of the dress of the clothes of the dead body, very thin dress, you know that. So they starts their journey with this dress, and finally he says that we passed, we paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground, and they starts their journey, and suddenly they paused their journey before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. Swelling means a little bit high of the level of the ground. Swelling ground. Swelling grounds means a little bit high, a little bit high from the level. This shape indicates this is a grave. It's a grave. That means cover. It's a grave. Grave. So the poet says that. So we paused. They stopped their journey before a house. So they hear the ground or grave used as a word house. House symbolic. So the roof was scarcely visible. The cornice of the ground. So in this way, this house is scarcely visible from far, and its roof is very is not large, is not very much high, little bit high from the ground. Since then, its centuries and yet feel shorter than the day. I first surmised the horse's heads were towards eternity. So in this way, it seems to us that the poet is an experience of the poet about death. The poet imagines that he experienced the death, and after death he entered into the world of eternity. So in this way, you can find that in this poem there are so many elements, important elements. So in this way, the poet, we find that in this poem the poet used mystic elements. That means the death. So normally we think that death is the end of life, but Emily Dickinson tries to say that no, death is not the end of life. Death is not actually end of life. It's the new beginning. It's a process through which we entered into the another world. So whatever it is, so what type of mystic elements in this poem? So there is a question, you know that there is a question. What is mysticism? What type of mystic elements do you find in the poem? So after reading this, we will find these types of mystic elements. So the title itself, mystic. The title itself is a mystic elements. The journey undertaken by death. So it's a journey. The poem, it's a journey of death undertaken by death. The death leads the journey. So how it is possible? The death leads the journey. How it is possible? So it is not possible really, but it is possible. It is possible in another way. So it is a mystic elements. So immortality. So the word immortality is an supreme example of mystic elements. So the journey from birth to eternity through grave. The journey from birth to eternity through grave. So it is also a journey of eternal world, a journey to eternal world. Actually, this poem gives the journey from life to death, how we stop, how we have to surrender our life to the field of death through this journey. This is the main theme of this poem. So then the carriage does not exist physically. So in this way, in this poem, we find the carriage. This carriage does not exist physically actually. Death, you know that in this poem we find that death comes with the carriage, and death comes with the carriage. Death comes with the carriage, but death comes with the carriage. Death comes with to us with the carriage, but this carriage has no physical shape. So this is supreme example of mystic elements. So death is personified as a gentleman. You know the death is also, and death is the most mystic elements here. It is personified as a gentleman. It is also mystic, mysterious point. So grave is treated as a house. So in the last portion, you find that we paused before a house. House means what is the house? House means the grave, the cemetery or the grave. So here the grave is treated as a house. So this is also a mystic element. So in this way, you can analyze these types of points. So, what types of symbols you can find in this poem? The journey undertaken by death, the speaker, and immortality. Three persons, the death, speaker, and immortality, like three persons, they undertake the journey, is a symbol of soul's journey from birth to eternity through death. This journey symbolizes the journey of our soul. And this journey symbolizes the journey of our soul. So then the carriage. So carriage is a symbol of hearse. Hearse means that carries the dead body. The carries the vehicles that carries the dead body. This is a symbol. The school symbolizes early part of our life, early life, of our beginning life, childhood period of human beings. And the gazing grain symbolizes old age. The setting sun symbolizes dying process. So house symbolizes the grape, you know that, and house symbolizes the grape. The horses head towards eternity. In the last line, we find that the horses head towards eternity. The horses head towards eternity. That means the horse shakes his hand towards eternity. That means the time always reminds us that we have a journey. We must surrender ourselves to the world of eternity. So the horse head towards eternity. This line symbolizes the soul's journey to the endless eternity. You know that eternal world is endless. So that is where this is called. So these are the symbols. These are the symbols that are used in this poem. So if you can make the answers, you can take help from these types of points. So now I'd like to discuss with you that how you can prepare a broad questions answer from this poem. The treatment of death. This is the very much important question for your exam. What is the treatment of death in this poem? So if you want to arrange the answer, at first you should give some introduction, some introductory line. At first, you can say that Emily Dickinson. In this way, you can arrange your introduction. You can in this way. Listen to me that you can say that Emily Dickinson is very much important poet. He's an American poet. He mainly deals with mysterious element or mystic elements. So in this poem, because I could not stop for death, we also find that he used much more important mystic elements. That is, he uses the treatment of death. He uses the death here, and he gives the treatment of death in this poem very nicely, and he shows how the human beings accept death in their life, and how the human beings through death entered into the another world. So in this way, she gives a philosophy about death. In this way, Emily Dickinson, the poet, or she gives a philosophy about death. She tries to say that death is not the end of life. She tries to say that death is a process through which we entered into the another world. This is the philosophy of this poem. So in this way, after the introduction, after giving the introduction, you can analyze the main theme. Main theme of this poem is that is the death. You can explain, and then you can say that death is inevitable. suddenly it comes. From the first stanza, you can answer of this point. You can say that death is inevitable of human life. Human being must surrender himself to the hand of death, and suddenly death comes every human's life. Human beings have no chance to escape from death, because suddenly death comes and it picks the human beings to the world of eternity. In this way, you can explain under this point from the first stanza, and then surrender to death. You can say that man must have to surrender himself to the death. So this is also a point. You can explain this poem in any way from this poem. So death is the only way to enter into the world of eternity. You can explain this point. You can explain this point. You can say that this is the philosophy of Emily Dickinson, is that she believes that Emily Dickinson believes that death is not the end. Death is a process. Through it is the doorway. Death is a doorway through which we entered into the another world, through which we entered into the world of eternity. So that is it is not the ending process of life. It gives a beginning of new beginning. So in this way you can explain, taking the ideas from the poem. So death is not the end, a new beginning. This is also you can be explain the point. And the death is not the end. Death is the new beginning. Death starts a new world after this world. So without death, it is quite impossible for human being to enter into that world, to enter into the new life of after this world. So that is why it is a process. It is a process through which we entered into the world of eternity. So death always with us. This is very much important point. Under this point, you can explain. So you can say that death is always with us. Death is always with us. We never escape from death. We may not conscious about death, but death is always with us. Wherever we are, whatever we are, whoever we are, death is with us. We must surrender ourselves to the death. This is a true of this is the final truth of our life. So in this way, in this poem, we find that the poet Emily Dickinson, an American mysterious poet, she very nicely gives his idea about death, gives her philosophy about death, and that is why in this poem she is very much successful to give a vivid picture of death and also philosophy of death. So in this way, you can prepare broad questions taking help from the points. So in your home, I would like to give you some homework that you will try to make the answer in your own way. If you never try to write, you never can learn. So you try to write in yourself, you will shine, inshallah. You will try, you will can. So these three questions, you will try to write the answers of these questions in your own way, taking the help from your books, from your suggestive books. So this is your homework. You will try. If you have any query, you can make message me by email. So inshallah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.